92 Rivaldo Prime. He is a left mid, cam, centre forward or left wing, and we're going to discuss, is the 2-star weak foot really going to hold this car back? So we are going to be playing more in attacking position. Left mid is personally just to get him into the team on a good chemistry and obviously links in quite well. In terms of the card, Rivaldo normally is very stacked with stats. The only thing ever holding him back is that 2-star weak foot. The 4-star skills is nice. He's a medium low, which again, work rates are okay. 6'1", left footed, and he has got finesse and flair on the traits. Everything else, we've got a good amount of pace. We have whacked the Hunter on to give him a bigger boost if possible. That will give him a +8 on pace, which will take it to 95, and he'll hand 97 shooting. The dribbling's already immaculate. A little bit less on the balance, obviously being 6'1". It's an understandable there. Strength, pretty good. Stamina's good. Passing, solid. I'm interested. So let's jump into Rivaldo and see if he's worth 435,000 coins. If you're looking for coaching service, foot champs, rivals, or just looking for generic coins, 100k, 500k, a mil, I recommend using SkyCoach at skycoach.gg. Link will be in the description, and make sure on your checkout to use the code JT11 for a discount on your order. Into Rivaldo's feet for the first time. Can we push him forward? Goes for the little through ball. This is where the problem is if I'm in this sort of position. It's a very solid ball, but the right foot is just totally unusable. So you're always needing to go onto that stronger foot. And it's why in any sort of moments version, I always see if there's going to be a weak foot upgrade, because it does genuinely make the card so much more beneficial. Big ball into him. Mbappe running off if he can. He's gone for a terrible ball through. But it does remind me very much of a Socrates. Wow, okay, that was meant to be a little dink. Big hit. Goes for the left foot. It is thunderous, and that's kind of like the better side of him. His shooting most definitely isn't terrible and can definitely get in front of goal. Finds over the top. Can he get a little header across? Does enough. Can he flick Maldini? Still got the option. He's managed to. Little bit of a rainbow. Flick it the other side. Is finding his moment here. Can we get the finesse? And it is a very, very rush shot into a little flip flap. Seems like the balance is taking its toll on him. He's obviously got the skills for it, but in terms of dribbling, it's a little bit slower than what I was kind of imagining. Little dink in. Header from Rivaldo, and Butland with a big save. Into Rivaldo. It's going to come across goal this time. It's a great little block, and Mahrez finds the seconds. Rivaldo inside, finds his left foot, gets the second, and it's a very, very lucky block in the first minute for his first goal. Can he find a Rivaldo coming in? I think heading-wise, he's definitely got it. He's just finding that right zone. I don't really score too many headers. Mahrez finds in a bit of a run. Rivaldo, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Clinical finishing. Makes him fall over, and he's got it bottom left. What's an interesting thing with Rivaldo is, obviously a 4-star, 2-star. I would have assumed that Socrates, a 4-star, 4-star, would be better in terms of some aspects. I think the 4-star weak foot is absolutely massive, and yet they are both very similar in price, but Rivaldo is technically more expensive. So it'd be interesting to compare them two, as I think in terms of cam Brazilians, they obviously are the two that I would compare the most, even though Rivaldo technically has multiple positions he can be, and Rivaldo can only be a cam. As he finds his way here, gonna look for himself round. Does a little bit of dancing, but doesn't come away with the ball. Good pass off to Rivaldo. Looking to shake him left and right. Like I say, in terms of very, very similar to what Pires was. In terms of dribbling, just doesn't quite have that little bit of a flair. When it's coming past, it's a little bit slower on the turn than what I'd like. I'd like to be a little bit more snappy, and maybe, just maybe, we beat that defender then. Rivaldo finds the back of the net. Oh, nearly Rivaldo. And again finds him through. Few step overs into a right-footed finesse. Okay. Into Rivaldo. Cuts across. I don't know why he keeps going with this right. We need to push it onto his left a hell of a lot more. Good strength battle from Rivaldo, winning the ball back. Even if it is straight out for a throw-in, it stops them progressing. Over to Rivaldo, and great header, finding his hat-trick. Good spin from Mbappe. Oh, he was so close. Rivaldo always on the end of the players, always on that last line of defense, which is absolutely perfect. Just finding that final ball through. Finding Rivaldo on the run here. Can we get a first good touch? Mbappe in, finds the whip. Yeah, I thought Virgil would have. I was hoping Virgil may have came out a little bit more, but it was obvious that he knew where I was going to put that ball. So going into the overall for Rivaldo then. Again, not a bad icon. I feel like he's definitely got some works to make. Obviously, the weak foot isn't necessarily the greatest one. The skill moves are fantastic. Obviously, Brazilians, always incredible on that ball. I felt like the dribbling was a little bit off at times, and that is where the Maras is, the Payets, the Torreira. Always come in a little bit more on the better side for me. I feel like if I'm looking at 430 in terms of a price tag, that is a little bit hefty compared to a lot of players in the game right now. We've not got too many players that are that of value that most definitely are that sort of price. If we look at around about that price budget, we're looking at 430. You can go get a foot Centurion's Ben Yedder, who is incredible. You can then go and get a lot more icons. Ribery's obviously on that cards. You've got Marquinhos, Cancelo. Richarlison's not a terrible one, I suppose. And you could keep going down the list. So in terms of the price that you're paying, that is a relatively expensive card in this sort of market. I can imagine he will drop down soon. His mid is coming in at 215 and the base at 130. And I do think that the prime is kind of where it's at for him. Obviously, he did have more pace on this version than any other version, as well as obviously his shooting. And I think every version has got a 4-star, 2-star. So if there is a campaign for any sort of extra icon, Rivaldo with a 4-star, 4-star would be incredible. Now, the one comparison I did want to make with this is Socrates personally would be better in my opinion. So the pace is obviously less, dribbling is roughly the same, shooting roughly the same, passing's better on him, but he does have the 4-star, 5-star. I just don't see how he could be more. Well, I suppose it could be just a fluctuation. They are both very, very similar, but Socrates with that 5-star weak foot is always going to be more beneficial in my eyes than going for the Rivaldo. The 2-star weak foot, unfortunately, is such a burden, and especially when the opponent knows exactly where you're going, because you're not going to be shooting on your right foot. You may pass it on your right foot, which sometimes will be fine, but shooting is most definitely going to be on that left foot. So in general, I think with Rivaldo, probably not worth the coins in my opinion. Maybe if he drops a little bit more, then that might be fine. But in terms of what you're paying for right now, there's far too many players that are way, way better in stats, in just everything. Overall wise, I'd give him a solid 7.5. I think he's better than the likes of Pires, but in terms of kind of top end icons, it's 7.5 to 8 at best for me. So let me know down below what you think about Rivaldo. Make sure you do like and subscribe on this, and I'll catch you all for the next one. Peace.